just dropped a huge tree in the forest. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hoping that it'll be big enough for a few of the beams on the sawmill shelter. I may have to use the excavator a little bit to help me pick it up while I cut the rest of it up, because it's pretty big. It's going to be fun, so stay tuned. I made a big mess with all the branches all on the side, so my neighbor should be able to come with his mulcher and just mulch all this up. I got a bunch of firewood out of it, you know, with all the little skinny top shoots, but this is the top end of the tree, and that's the fat end down there. You know, it's kind of up like that, a little bit of a curve. So if I start cutting it, it's gonna sink down and pinch the bar of the chainsaw. Let me just show you the size of this sucker. So this is the stump. You can tell just based on the size of my hand that it's probably 18 inches across, but it's awfully soft in the center. You can see there's a little bit of a hole there. It's still relatively solid though. It was just this part that was soft, but I think it's going to be okay. This might be good for the big beam. If I can get 12 inches, that would be a good beam. And it's pretty straight. When you look all the way down, it's fairly straight. But this is a maple and it's heavy. Heavy, I'm telling you, it's heavy. I don't even know if my tractor is going to be able to tow it. From that end to right there where that mark is, this is 24 feet. So we'll see if that's going to be our main beam. And then from where that mark is up until this mark, this is 16 feet. So I still need a couple of 16-foot beams. And then from this mark to the end, I don't know, it's 10 feet. And I do need a 6-foot beam. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to still get a 12-inch out of it. We may not. We'll have to see. I'm shocked that it was able to pick it up. That shows you how powerful these excavators are. Okay, so that's the limit of this excavator. Can't pick it up to make my life easier. So what I'm gonna do is just cut, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through, and then I'll use the excavator to roll the log. That's the safest. Okay, so that's a bonus. It was kind of sitting right that I was able to go right through without touching the ground. That's always lovely when that happens. So now the fun starts, because I gotta get these logs back to the sawmill. I'm just walking along on the forest floor here. Look what I found. Is that like a newt or a salamander? It's always cool when you discover things. We're in the forest. There's a whole lot of stuff here, but I didn't expect to see like a little salamander lizard. It's not very common that you see a whole lot of them in Ontario. I just picked up the poor guy in a bucket here because I got to drive back and I got to go get my tractor. I don't want to kill the poor guy. Trying to be a nice steward of the land here. I'm not interested in just killing things for nothing. Okay, buddy. There you go, bud. You coming out? There you go. Now you're gonna be safe. I mean, this is a big log. I should be able to get at least one 10-inch beam out of it. Maybe two if I do the cuts right. I finally had to change the blade on my brand new Woodland Mills HM136 Max sawmill. I'm trying to remember how many logs I did. It has to be 15 logs before I had to change this blade. This is the first original blade that came straight from the factory, and this is my first blade change. So hopefully I don't mess it up. Check out the pressure. So it should be tight like this, but it's coming up because of the pressure. It lifted itself all the way up. Now I just need to trim this first log, 176.5, and then that's gonna go from there over to there. But I'll have to go get the Mini X for that, because that's probably 800 pounds. I can't pick that up. So I just joined these two together. There's a tiny bit of a gap right here, but I think that's okay. But also, this is not 100% true with this. It's like a 1/4 inch gap difference, but it's the same as this. They're both 10 inches. So I think it's just because this log kind of tapers right here. It'll still be okay though. At least this beam is done. And that beam is done. For this last section, this last beam here, I need 155.5 inches. I gotta close that gap there and it's hard to do. So I'm just trying to hammer the other side, but I just need to get a heavier hammer. That's only a 3-pound hammer. Maybe I need like an 8-pound or a sledge. You okay, Olive? You okay, girlie? You're okay, right? You're always keeping me company. Always keeping me company. I'm finished the beams in the middle. Yeah, I'm finished the beams. What do you think of that? That's not too shabby. All the middle section posts and beams are done. But here's the thing. I gotta now work on the front posts, but I'm thinking before I do the posts, I should mill that 25-foot beam. Starting from the workshop there, that post to this first post right here is not quite 16 feet, it's a little bit less. But then from this post to the next post, it's almost 24 feet. And what that's gonna allow me to do is still go in and out with my equipment to the mill. You don't want to have a column in the middle because then how are you going to put your logs here? So it needs that huge span, and 24 feet is nice because the mill itself is 19 feet something. So it'll give me a couple extra feet on this side, couple extra feet on this side for some wiggle room. This little area right here will be like, I don't know, maybe I'll have like a workbench in here because there's going to be a little bit of room. It'll be nice to put all my chainsaws here, all my woodworking stuff. It'll be good to get it out of the drive shed because that's getting quite jammed. I but I got something I want to show you guys, and it's pretty good. So as I explained in the last video, these are the tongs that I already had. These are 16-inch tongs. And honestly, when you're bringing back these big, huge logs, these tongs are spread all the way to the end, and it's still not even big enough. So I got something new. Let me show you. It's this sucker right here. It's kind of like a grapple, but it doesn't have any hydraulics or nothing. It's very simplified. I just got it off Amazon. But it's 28 inches wide instead of this one, which is 16. I just need to figure out how to use it. It's still a little bit Mickey Mouse, but as you pull up on the log, it grabs it tighter down below, and it's just a very simplified manual. I'm going to try it to see how it works on these big, huge logs, but it sure is constructed quite well. Hopefully, because it's curled around the log, that it'll just grab easily. The other one was a bit more difficult. I had to hammer it in. We'll see. Let's see how she picks up. Now I'm just going to drag the sucker down a little bit. I don't want to drag it in the soil, but I think I have no choice in this case. I'm going to drag it down to here because I don't want to get my excavator up there. It's too steep. I'm going to try to grab with the excavator so I can get my dolly underneath. Remember, this is a 25-foot log. It's huge, massive. If I get this successfully, this is incredible, because you just would never guess that I could move a 25-foot beast of a log with my little dinky John Deere tractor and a little tiny log dolly. Of course, I wouldn't have been able to get this dolly underneath if I couldn't pick it up with the excavator. Literally, look how massive it is. That's my hand, and I have big hands, man hands. Check it out. Like, this has got to be 25 inches. Now remember, I'm looking for a 12-inch beam, but that end is a little bit tapered, so we'll have to see once we actually start milling it what we're gonna get. I'm crossing my fingers on this one. I honestly don't even have any idea how much weight that little log dolly is rated for. So this is just a little bit of a risk, you know, like if it doesn't work, what's it going to do? It's going to give it flat tires or something, but I'll have to come up with another plan if it doesn't work. Look, we're totally jackknifed. This is the back of the tractor right here, but the log is way down there. Well, that settles it. My John Deere 3039R with the 320R lifters on them, can't pick it up. This thing must weigh like 5,000 pounds easy, probably more. It's a maple. I'm gonna go and get my excavator and see if I can actually grab it and pick it up. We'll have to see, but that'll be on the next episode. So stay tuned for the next sawmill build episode, where I'm gonna try to get this up here on the sawmill, and it's gonna be a doozy too, because this is 24 feet long. I think I cut it at 25 feet long actually, and my mill only goes up to 16 feet. So it's gonna be interesting trying to get this long, huge log milled on a 16-foot mill. So until then, you guys take care, eh? And we'll see you on the next episode.